Before we start the weekly analysis, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and of course share the video. So last week, my friends, we actually had the unemployment rate news for the USD and for the CAD pairs, and of course both of these actually have actually made a big impact on the market, causing the EURUSD to make a spike for about 123 pips. Almost all of the pairs actually have spiked against the dollar, and of course that is the reason we can see many of the last week's signals of course have failed, especially the gold. Now that means we have to be careful about how to trade the dollar this upcoming week, because we are also having a lot of upcoming news which can also cause the market to change the direction again. So please be aware that we're having on next Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Dubai time, 12:30 p.m. GMT time, we will be having the core CPI news for the USD dollar, which actually might cause the pairs to go against most of these directions, which I'm about to give you right now. Also on Wednesday, we are having again the core retail sales for the USD pairs, and of course the PPI news, which can actually also make an impact on the market. AUD also is going to be having the unemployment rate, monetary policy statement for the euro. So as you can see, guys, a lot of news that can actually cause the market to go against the direction which I'm about to give you right now. So again, please be careful and aware to pay attention to the fundamentals and to the news, and please don't keep any trade opened during this news. I highly recommend you guys to close all your positions until the news are over, and then you can reopen them again or consider what you can do next in the market. Anyway, without further ado, let's now begin analyzing the market, and let's now begin with the Euro USD. So now regarding the Euro USD, if we switch to the weekly chart, however, we can see right here, my friends, the my favorite price action being seen or spotted actually on a support zone right here, which usually indicates for a bullish reversal and actually a continuation in the movement toward the resistance level right here at 1.09186. Now, if we look at the bigger picture, of course, on the weekly chart, we can notice right here that we are having that resistance trend line. And seems like the Euro USD is indeed going to continue the rise till at least to reach that level of a resistance right here at 1.07660. So meaning the Euro USD is going to actually continue the rise. First of all, it's going to be retesting the price or the resistance at 1.07660, and also it's going to be revisit the level of a resistance trend line, and I believe afterwards we can start shorting the Euro USD, of course, upon the pressure from the real level of a resistance right here at that price. Now, that being said, we have to consider buying the Euro USD for the upcoming week. Now, the question is where exactly we can start buying the pair. Let's now move to the 4-hour time frame. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, the first thing that we can spot right here is, of course, I need to scroll to the left side just like this. Actually, we have to zoom out like this, yes. What I will do right now, my friends, is simply draw here a support trend line from this lower low, just like this, to this higher low. And what I will do next is simply drag the very same support trend line and place it right there. Add the nearest support trend line to the bullish breakout candle. So right here, we can see that we had here a support trend line with multiple attempts, and then we had here the fake breakout from that level. We can see that the market didn't actually create any resistance trend line on that level. We had just here a small reversal, but that doesn't really count as a resistance trend line. Therefore, the Euro USD right now is going to continue the fall till it reaches that level of a previous support trend line, and upon the pressure from that level plus the strong key support level right there, exactly right here at 1.06124, most likely we can start buying the Euro USD once the market reaches the same level of that strong key support level along with the previous support trend line, and from that point we can start buying the pair. I highly recommend everyone to not open the trades instantly. Just wait for the market to show some reaction on this level. Just make sure that you are seeing any price action indicates that the market is indeed ready for the bullish reversal, and afterwards you can start buying the Euro USD. But do not proceed to buy it instantly once it reaches that level, because it can actually create here a strong bearish breakout candle, and that can actually change the entire analysis. Now, of course, we have to keep in mind that we're also having right here a previous support level at 1.05624. So there is a possibility that the market actually might fall again right here till it reach that level of a support zone, and from that point it can actually start the bullish reversal. Therefore, stick to the safe zone, which is going to be lasting for about 50 pips again. Meanwhile, the take profit level is going to be placed at the absolute highest level of a resistance at 1.07660, aiming 153 pips of profit. And let's now move to the pound USD. Alright, now regarding the pound USD, if we switch now to the weekly chart, we can see the rejection from breaking out from that strong key support zone right here at 1.17520. So the pound USD has actually shown a rejection multiple times over the last weeks to break out from that level, and lately we had this candle right here, which represents of course a pressure from the buyers, which means that the market is most likely going to continue the rise. If you guys remember, I told you before actually that these two candles, if they are spotted on the weekly chart on a support zone, usually they are indicators for a continuation in the bullish momentum, and that is exactly what's happening right now for the pound USD. It seems like the market has actually gave up upon the pressure from that support, and right now the market is gonna continue the rise. Now that candle right here represents of course a confusion. I don't want to say confusion. It's like actually a stronger pressure from the bulls to take the market up, but however the bears are actually trying their best to keep the price balance right here on that support zone. But eventually, upon the pressure from the previous price actions, I believe that the pound USD is indeed going to continue the rise, and the target is going to be right here, the highest level of a real resistance at 1.22979, which means the pound USD still has about 270 pips more to go. Now back to the daily chart. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that level of a support right here is actually very appealing to the traders, and most likely we can start buying the pound USD at some point on this strong previous support zone. Now let's keep in mind that this was of course the real level of the support. Meanwhile, we had here a fake breakout number 1 and a fake breakout number 2. Now the price is actually getting trapped inside of this channel. As you can see, this is the channel. You can start from whatever you want, like here. And now we can actually expect from the pound USD, after reversing from that support trend line right here, to actually make a pullback right here and start to respect that level of a support. And from that point, it's gonna be a good idea to start buying the pound USD, aiming of course if it has made a bullish breakout from that level of a resistance trend line. That's gonna be awesome, because it's gonna continue the rise till it reach that level of a resistance right here at 1.23420. Which means we have to consider buying the pound USD at some point of that support. Now the question is where exactly? To find out, let's move to the smaller time frame. Now moving to the 4-hour time frame has given us actually a better view to find or to spot actually the real level of a support and separate them from the fake breakouts. Now I want you guys to pay attention to that level right here of a support at 1.19905. Let's take a look at it closely. Right here we're having a real level of a support, then we had here a fake breakout, then we had another real attempt of a support, another fake breakout, and then number 1 and number 2 real attempts of a support. This support was of course a real level. However, the same level of a real support has also been respected, which means we had multiple attempts of a fake breakout. This was of course the biggest impact or the biggest pulse against the real level of a support. Therefore, if the market is going to continue the fall, I believe that this level of a real support is also going to be respected, and we can start safely buying the pound USD from that point, and it's going to continue the rise toward that level of a resistance right here at 1.22070, which means we have to wait for the pound USD to fall for about 40 pips before we can start buying it. However, the safe zone is going to be ranging till the absolute lowest level of a strong key support level at 1.19255. Meanwhile, the take profit level is going to be placed right here at also the absolute highest level of a current resistance at 1.21343, which means the safe zone will be ranging for about 63 pips against 143 pips of profit. Let's now move to the AUD USD. Alright, so as you can see, my friends, the AUD USD seems a strong bearish at the moment, but however, we're going to start shorting this pair, but not now. We have to wait a while before we start shorting the AUD USD, and let me explain to you the reason. Moving now to the weekly chart. Now from the weekly chart, we can see that the market has actually reached the absolute lowest level of the support exactly right there at 0.65819. Now there is a possibility that the market actually might make a pullback right now, exactly right now. The opening of the Monday might actually start to make a bullish movement to reverse and retest the broken level of a support right here exactly at 0.66727, and from that point we can start safely shorting the AUD USD. The problem is that's going to happen after the market rises for about 70 or 80 pips. Now let's move to the daily chart and see this in a brief. Now on the daily chart, we can notice right here that we had right here a resistance level exactly right there at 0.66563. Now pay attention, that was of course the real level of the resistance, of a support, and of course it was a real level of a resistance right there. Now it's important to remember to mention that we're having here a resistance trend line, and what I can do right now is simply drag the very same level of a resistance trend line which I have just drawn and just place it all the way like that at the nearest broken level of a support or resistance trend line. Now there lies the real level of a resistance trend line with 2 attempts at least. Then we had here a fake breakout in the middle. Then lately it became of course a real level of a support trend line. Now that being said, I believe we have to wait for the AUD USD to rise again to reach the same level of a real resistance trend line and also retesting the real level of a resistance right there, and from that point the AUD USD is going to be good to be shorted, and we can keep the market, actually we can keep the trade running till the market reach the same level of a support right here at 0.64515. Now based on the 4-hour time frame, we can see the very strong bearish movement right now for the AUD USD. I actually can give you the signal to short it right away, but I just really hate to give you a signal to short the pair exactly at the absolute lowest level of a support. Most likely the AUD USD is going to continue the rise till it reaches that level of a resistance. However, just to be safe and to not miss the opportunity, I'm going to send you the signal to short the AUD USD exactly right there at the absolute highest level of a resistance at 0.66340, which means we have to wait for the AUD USD to rise for about 50 pips before we can start shorting it. Meanwhile, the safe zone is going to be ranging till the absolute nearest level of a support at 0.66958, which means the safe zone is going to be ranging for about 63 pips. And now for the take profit level, which is going to be placed just right there, exactly right there at the nearest level of a real resistance right there to the target. Just right, this is the one. This is of course the nearest level of a real resistance to that bullish breakout candle, which means that the AUD USD has actually a potential to continue the fall till it reaches that level, which means the take profit level is going to be approximately 136 pips of profit against 64 pips of a safe zone. Let's now move to the USD CAD. Alright, now let's move to the weekly chart for the USD CAD, and what we can see right here first of all is that the market has actually been able to make the bullish breakout from 61.8 Fibonacci retracement, which indicates that the USD CAD is indeed going to continue the rise, and most likely the target is gonna be eventually the highest level of a resistance at 1.39784, and is gonna even make a bullish breakout from that level of a resistance very soon, so meaning we have to consider buying this pair. Now the question is where exactly we can start buying the USD CAD. Let's move to the 4-hour time frame. And now on the 4-hour time frame, what I'm going to do right here is simply draw the support trend line from the absolute lowest level of a support trend line to the highest level of a support trend line, just like that. Now next is going to be just dragging the same support trend line which we have drawn here and place it just right there, as we can see right here, my friends, at the absolute lowest level of a current support trend line. Now, upon the pressure from the current resistance right here at 1.38470, we can actually expect from the USD CAD to make a bearish fall and pull back, actually retesting the broken level of a support right here also at 1.37932, and from that point most likely we can start buying the USD CAD. Now moving to the 1-hour time frame to see that in more in action, as you can see right here, this was indeed, my friends, a level of a support, which was of course a support number 1, and the same level has also been a support right here, as we can see. So meaning that level of a support has already been respected right after that fake breakout happened right here. Now combining all of that together with the support trend line that we're having right here, we can actually safely start buying the USD CAD once it reaches this level of a support and a support trend line, and the target, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be the highest level of a resistance. Let me just tell you that we need to switch to the daily chart right now to see our target, which is going to be placed just right there at the absolute highest level of a resistance at 1.38974. This is of course not the absolute highest level, of course. I'm sorry about that. It's just the high level of a resistance, which means we're going to be aiming approximately 109 profits from this signal. Meanwhile, the safe zone should not actually be ranging lower than this level of a current support right here at 1.37437, which means the safe zone will be ranging for about 48 pips against 109 pips of profit. Let's now move to the USDJPY. Okay, now for the USDJPY, let's just now move to the daily chart. Now on the daily chart, what we can see right here, my friends, is a very clear support trend line, which has actually been respected repeatedly since February 2022 until the recent time, December 22nd, 2022, and of course January 2023 as well. And right now, it seems like after respecting that level of a resistance as well at 137.498, most likely the USDJPY is actually gonna start another attempt of that support trend line, which means that the USDJPY is gonna continue the fall to reach the same level of a support trend line, and afterwards it actually might continue the bouncing and rising upon the pressure from that support, which means we have to consider shorting the USDJPY for the upcoming week. So again, the question, where exactly we can start shorting this pair? Now moving to the 4-hour time frame, what we can see right here is a very clear previous support level, which was of course a real level of a support. And those who are following my channel for a long time, they know enough that the rules of actually selling the new resistance, which means once you see the candle actually rising again to reach a previous broken level of a support, you have to always place your trade as a sell order exactly on the same level of the lowest level of the candle, or the tail, which is the nearest one to the bearish breakout candle. That of course right here is the lowest level of the tail, which is the nearest one to that bearish breakout candle, and therefore let's just wait for the USDJPY to rise again to reach that level, and then we can start safely shorting this pair. If that happens, our target is going to be right here, the absolute lowest level of the support where the market has originally reversed from, which means we will be aiming 173 pips of profit. Meanwhile, the safe zone shouldn't actually be ranging higher than this level of a previous resistance at 136.477, which means the safe zone is going to be ranging for about 63 pips against 172 pips of profit. Let's now move to the USD CHF. Alright, now on the daily chart for the USD CHF, the market seems to be very bearish at the moment, and it's important to mention that we had right here a broken level of a resistance trend line, and as we can see, the market based on the daily chart has actually been able to make one single attempt of the support trend line, and afterwards the market has instantly broke out from that level. Now that indicates that most likely, and since we're having here a pressure from the support at 0.91730, most likely the USD CHF is actually going to make a pullback this week, or actually the beginning of the week, maybe on Monday morning, I think, is going to start the pullback, and then that level of a broken level of a resistance trend line is most likely going to be respected again, and from that point we can start shorting the USD CHF again and expecting from the market to continue the fall. Now it's important to mention that on the left side we are also having here a real level of a resistance, which is also most likely going to be revisited and of course respected, and therefore exactly from that point we can start shorting the USD CHF. And of course the target is going to be right here, the absolute lowest level of the support right here at 0.90876, and the safe zone that shouldn't be ranging higher than this level of the peak of the resistance at 0.93310, which means the safe zone will be ranging for about 71 pips against 172 pips of profit. Let's now move to the gold. Alright, so as you can see, my friends, the gold currently is moving in a very strong bullish movement, and if we switch now to the daily chart, we can see that the gold has indeed managed the to actually make the bullish breakout from 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. And by the way, that is exactly where we can start buying the gold, exactly at 61.8 again. What will gonna happen right now, in my opinion, is that the gold is gonna make a pullback upon the pressure from the resistance at 1871.70. And right now, the next candle is gonna start to be red candle, and it's gonna be bearish one, and then we can start actually buying the gold exactly from that point. Let me just show you something also. We are having here a support trend line, and check this out. If I draw the support trend line, we can see that the market has actually been respecting that level of a support trend line over the time. Then we had here that one fake breakout, and instantly the market has not only made one fake breakout, it actually made two of them, which means there was actually two fake breakouts from that level. Now, after breaking out from 61.8, now the gold is most likely gonna make another pullback right now, and that support trend line is definitely gonna be respected again after the breakout from 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. Now the question is, can we find on the left side a strong key support level that we can rely on to start buying the gold? The answer is absolutely yes. That level of a support exactly at 1859.30 is gonna be actually a very strong and good level to start buying the gold, which means we have to wait for the market to fall for about 150 pips before we can start buying it. But I believe it's gonna worth it, because the gold is actually gonna make a big spike at least till it reaches the highest level of the support right here at 1900. So 1900 is going to be our take profit level or target, which means we are aiming approximately 500 pips, hopefully going to be in profit. Meanwhile, the safe zone shouldn't actually be ranging lower than this level of a previous support right there at 1832.10. And of course, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see clearly that this was, of course, the nearest strong key support level to that bullish breakout candle, and also that support trend line is most likely going to be respected once again. So therefore, let's just wait for the gold to fall for about 131 pips, 38 pips before we can start buying it, aiming approximately 480 pips of profit. Meanwhile, the safe zone will be ranging for about 206 pips only. And there goes your signal, my friends, for the USD pairs and for the gold for the upcoming week. Again, I want to remind everyone to please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and of course share the video. And of course, don't forget, guys, about the upcoming news. They can actually be big on the market, and they can actually change the entire direction of these signals. Again, no one ever can take the blame for that. It's just how the market moves. This is, of course, purely a technical analysis. Of course, it relies on some fundamentals, but again, this news doesn't know, of course, any kind of technical or fundamentals. They can just immediately change the direction of the market, making a huge spike or a fall in the prices. And of course, there will be some corrections, but remember, these corrections can actually ruin the entire signals, which I have just sent to you in this video. So again, please be extra careful and wise about your trades, and remember to never ever trade during this news. It's highly recommended to always close your trades before the news are out, and after that you can either continue or just wait for a better opportunities. Until then, I hope that was informative to you, and I would like to thank you for watching.